Hello again, YouTube. This is Truth Man giving you the truth, and I want to talk to you about this. I got the inspiration from the Most High, and He injected me with His wisdom and knowledge on this. I was having a conversation, and then I said, okay, I need to talk about this too. And I would entitle this Things That Fathers Should Do with, for, and teach their sons to do. Things that we should teach our sons to do. There's some things that women just can't teach your sons. Like, they just can't, no matter how, you know how women get. When women are arrogant or narcissistic or whatever, conceited, people just brush it off. And that's why they can't see when women are like that too. Like women, a lot of women think that they can be the mother and the father. You can't. We see that every day. Single mothers, kids terrorizing the cities all over the country. We seeing that. Because if the father is there, he's taking a back seat and being passive. And it's not saying you got to be a tyrant over your kids, but you got to show your kids the right from wrong. It's some kid, you got to show them the basics too. Like you might have to show your kids how to brush their teeth. You know, you got to teach your sons, and I got to teach my sons. Well, my sons are grown now, but it's still things that I have to tell them and I have to teach them that I know. And that me as a man, I can teach them and their mother can't teach them. There's things that I can teach them that she can't. Like she can't teach them how to be a man. No woman can. They might think they can, but they can't, man. So I got 6 things on this list. I wrote them down as usual. Y'all know I be writing this stuff down. So, number 1, have things you talk about and do that you would not talk about or do with women and girls, with your daughters, you got to do this with your sons, man. You got to get them away from women sometimes. Like, you can't always include women in every single thing. Like, sometimes you and your sons, you might have to go here, you might have to go there. Because what I'm noticing is you got to build that callus, like that emotional callus in your son. You got to help them build that. A woman is not going to help them build that. They're going to be real emotional, like, and they feel it. We all emotional at times, but some of us don't know the difference. Like, I worked with a lot of people, like, especially on my last job, that they don't know the difference between manly emotion and feminine emotion. So people that don't know the difference, they think you should never say this, never do this, just always go along. That's like a womanly approach. Men are to lead. Like, you can't go along with everything. You're supposed to lead. So that's why that's number 1. You gotta distinguish. Like, I'll say this and do this and this with my sons, but then I deal with my daughters differently. That's just how I learned how to do it. Number 2, teach them to have a hobby or hobbies that don't always include women, which is kind of along talking about things, but hobbies as well. Like, you don't always have to see, that's why guys is getting their feelings hurt. These women is EOHs, 304s, and you always trying to include them, so what? They're going to step on you. You got to learn how to enjoy life and live life apart from that and make them prove themselves to you. And then we got to teach our sons the same way. They here for us. We're not here for them. Unless they want to change everything about God. And if they do that, then you already know they're not for you anyway. But you got to teach your sons to have a life outside of these women. And don't let these women, if you got a hobby, do not let them always take you from your hobby. This is how people get fat. This is how people just start to just kind of diminish away. And then that same way you diminish the way, they're going to criticize you for all of that. Ah, look how big your stomach is. Yep. My stomach is big because I should have put you in your place and went to the gym. There's women out there that will start World War III if their husband try to go to a gym with women. Listen, you be the man and teach your sons to be the man. Number 3, and this is something I'll be noticing too. Listen, it's what you like, but what you like in terms of what I'm finna say should not be influenced by women, man. And that is, have a dog that's connected to masculinity. Like, I be seeing dudes with little poodles and stuff like that. And hey, man, you know, it's okay if you got a poodle in your house for your daughters. This ain't the truth, man. This is opinion, man, right here. I think that a lot of guys be allowing women to dictate, and then they be slowly emasculating them. Sometimes they know they doing it, sometimes they just doing it because that's what they do. So then you'll have these guys walking around with these little bitty dogs that they didn't even want. Me personally, I'll never buy a poodle. I'll never buy none of those dogs, and there ain't nothing wrong with them. If that's you, but me, as a man, I gotta have a dog connected to masculinity. And what dogs would I say is connected to masculinity? Bulldogs, boxers, Rottweilers, stuff like that. Pit bulls. Pit bulls got a bad rap. It's all in how you train your dog, man. But this is my truth. All truth ain't the truth. But this number 3 is my truth. I wouldn't have. You gotta let your sons see your masculine behavior. If they see you getting licked in the face by a poodle, I'm just saying. Number 4, think for yourself. Never let women do your thinking for you. Listen. Guys, get rid of those notions within yourself where you fear her leaving. If she wants to leave, let her go. And matter of fact, all of you women who want to leave, just leave. Please go. Because by her staying and she wants to leave, she's emasculating you. So you have to make sure that she knows that you'll be fine if she leaves. So that's why you teach them to think for themselves. When they think for themselves, they'll know this, and then they'll make women prove themselves to them. Because if my sons are good guys. Any woman that gets them needs to prove herself. Because I know they're going to take care of their families. So shouldn't no 304 or no little weirdo chick who been raised poorly and still living that foolish lifestyle be with my sons. So you got to teach them to think for themselves. When they think for themselves, they'll be willing to drop bad women. You got to teach them how to think for themselves, and don't let no woman do their thinking for them. Choose your own friends. Don't let her choose your friends. Because the same women that'll be trying to choose your friends, she'll develop a liking or like one of your friends. That's why you choose. Man, please. For some sex? Get out of here. So, number 5, you teach your sons to fear nothing or nobody. Now, of course, you want to teach them to use judgment. Good judgment, and situation conflicts arise. You want to teach them how to handle them, because some situations it's just better to back down. But don't back down out of fear. Back down out of intelligence. So you teach your sons to fear nothing or nobody. And this is why you gotta try to stress your sons pumping that iron, lifting them weights, man. I know women try to do it now too. I know they try, and there's nothing wrong with them wanting to do that. But, you know, this is what you have to teach your sons, to fear nothing or nobody. Number 6, and the first comment I'm going to make is part of the God game stuff. The people who's playing the God game, they're going to try to get you to do things and try things that's not for you to ever do or try. Some curiosity is evil. That's the God game. The God game, people try to get you to act on your curiosities. Some curiosities are evil and to be avoided at all costs and all times. And you teach your sons that some curiosities is evil. Don't make friends with drug addicts. Don't make friends with people who be around here starting tish. You know, y'all know what tish spells backwards. That's another one of my words that I use now. You know, so you got to teach them that some curiosity is evil. Be a man. Be a man. And don't deal with these type of people that want you to act on your curiosities. Teach your sons to avoid things and people that will minimize their masculinity, their money, or their health. Some things you almost, in some ways, you have to brainwash your kids in some ways sometimes. But you have to know what to. Don't be teaching them there's no God. Get out of here with that. If that's what you believe, please don't teach your kids that. Because you can't prove that. But I'm talking about stuff on this list. I think it will help them tremendously. Some curiosity is evil. Be a man and avoid things and people that will minimize your masculinity, your money, or your health. Teach your sons not to try to buy women. If you're going to buy women, you might as well just buy them for the moment. Don't try to buy them for them to be with you. Don't do it like that. If you're going to buy them, then you might as well get what you want and move on. Don't keep them around trying to buy them. You know what I mean? Like, this is where I agree with Coach Greg Adams, and I understand what he's saying. Guys be trying to buy women to be their woman. That just don't make sense. If you gonna buy a woman, then you should buy her for the moment. You know, and like I said, this list will help. So let's go back while we in closing. Number 1, have things you talk about and do that you will not talk about and do with women and girls. Number 2, teach them to have a hobby or hobbies that don't always include women. Number 3, have a dog that is connected to masculinity. You know, it's okay to be masculine. There should be, this is how I am. This is why you'll never catch me in a pink shirt. You have to pay me, they'll have to pay me like $1 million to even put on a pink shirt. And as soon as I get my money, I'm going to take it right off and throw it in the garbage. That's just me. I'm just saying, because pink to me has always been a color equated to femininity, and that's fine. That's the way I feel about it. That's the way I think. Now, people might not agree with me, and that's not the truth. Well, in my case, it's true. If you observing this true, like if you grew up in the 80s like I did, pink has always been a feminine color. Number 4, think for yourself. Let women do you, or man, think for yourself. Never let women do your thinking for you. Again, like Pastor Dow even said, when they start talking about leaving, help them leave. You want me to help you pack? Because they are against you. Women that's with you, no matter what you do sometimes, they not going to talk about leaving. Women that talk about leaving, it's because either they never wanted to be with you to begin with, they childish, they selfish, or they have some trait that's not going to benefit you. And they supposed to be there to help you. So think for yourself. Never let them do your thinking for you. Number 5 was fear nothing or nobody. That includes women. Listen, my wife could leave at any time. If she want to leave, she can go. And she know that. I've told her that. You know, man, I had girlfriends before. That's how you supposed to think. You don't, no. Bye. You want to go? Bye. That's how you're supposed to be with women. Number 6, some curiosity is evil. Be a man and avoid things and people that will minimize your masculinity, money, or your health. You should be teaching your sons this. You should be teaching your sons this. Teach your sons that you don't need friends. You want friends. How is that your friend? Every time you look, he getting you locked up in detention for the kids. How is that your friend and he trying to get you addicted to drugs so he can have more money at his disposal when he's ready to use them? It's not a friend. You're supposed to teach your sons this when they're young. Then they get older and they'll know how to deal with people like this. This gonna mess their life up. But anyway, I'm gonna close this out. The channel is no matrix, no letting your wife or your girl teach your sons. Forget these courts. If she won't let you see your son, take her to court and keep taking her. And if the judge taking her side, try to get another judge, whatever you got to do. But don't be letting these women teach your son. They can't teach your sons how to be men. You be there for your kids. These women shouldn't, y'all letting these women tell y'all too much, man, please. You'll never, man, come on now. No simping. No being passive, letting her teach your sons manhood. Sometimes you gotta fight and argue with some of these women. If your girlfriend or your wife is one of them ones that always trying to get her way, you're going to have to argue with her. Stop storming off. Stop trying not to say nothing. You got to learn how to put her in her place. And if you can't put her in her place, you shouldn't be with her. Because you a man, and if you let her win all the time, what kind of relationship is that? That's that weirdo stuff that's going on in the world right now. Everything that's going on in the world is not what should be going on. You got to teach your son should see you arguing with her sometime. If she always got this to say, that to say, this, that, then you should be arguing with her sometimes in front of your kids. Like normally, you would hope that you wouldn't be arguing in front of your kids. Like with your daughters, you kind of want to do it differently. I mean, it's just a wise wisdom thing. But with your sons, you want to see your son, when she try to take charge over you, you want your sons to see you putting her in her place. But anyway, we'll have more videos on here tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Keep tuning in. Hit the like button. Share this content on your platforms. If the video's too long, I know some of y'all, if it ain't a ball game or certain stuff, you can't sit through it. Come back and watch the whole video. And please, do not comment before you heard the whole video. Thanks for all my new subscribers. Thanks for my subscribers. Thanks for those who have been commenting. I appreciate all the feedback. May it continue. We'll have some lives once we get more regulars, people like, communicating with me and stuff like that. I'm going to start doing lives. But I'll see y'all tomorrow with more videos.